Look around any modern office and you'll see something interesting. People desperately trying to create privacy in spaces designed to eliminate it. Noise canceling headphones everywhere, laptop screens angled away from passersby, workers booking conference rooms just to make phone calls. Everyone searching for focus in environments optimized for distraction. Meanwhile, commercial real estate is experiencing the biggest transformation in decades. Office space demand has fundamentally shifted. Vacancy rates are hitting historic highs in some markets, and companies are rethinking everything they thought they knew about where and how work happens. Having worked in both commercial real estate and executive recruiting, I've seen this from both angles: the business case for space optimization and the human cost of privacy elimination. Right now, 42% of the US workforce works remotely, full time, with another 35% in hybrid arrangements. But what's really fascinating is why. It's not just about flexibility, it's about finally having control over your work environment and privacy. Because what we're witnessing is the culmination of decades of eroding workplace privacy, and workers have finally found an alternative. The question is, what does this mean for the future of physical workspaces? Let's start in 1968 with a man named Robert Propst, who worked for Herman Miller Furniture Company. Probst looked at the rigid, formal offices at the time and had what seemed like a revolutionary insight. Workers needed flexible, personalized space that could adapt to different tasks. So Probst invented the Action Office. It was modular furniture systems that created semi-private workspaces with adjustable components. His vision was actually quite sophisticated: give people control over their environment while maintaining the efficiency of open planning. But then something predictable happened. Corporate America looked at Probst's thoughtful design and saw an opportunity to pack more people into less space. The flexible Action Office became a rigid cubicle farm, rows and rows of identical boxes that maximized density while minimizing cost. From a real estate perspective, this was brilliant: 30% more workers in the same space. But we had just eliminated personal territory entirely. Workers went from private offices to semi-private cubes to completely exposed environments. Then came the open office revolution, which we've touched on before. Companies told us this was about collaboration and innovation, but workers experienced it as the final assault on workplace privacy. Suddenly, every conversation could be overheard. Every phone call was public. Every moment was observable. This wasn't just about physical space. It was about psychological safety. The ability to think privately, to have sensitive conversations, to control who has access to your attention, all of that disappeared in favor of transparency and accessibility. By the 2010s, we had hot desking and nomad workstations. Workers didn't even have consistent spaces anymore. You'd arrive at work and hunt for a desk, set up your laptop, then pack everything up at the end of the day. Zero territorial control, zero privacy, zero sense of place. Then came the co-working revolution, led by companies like WeWork. This seemed like it might solve the privacy problem: flexible spaces, varied environments, the promise of community without corporate surveillance. WeWork raised $47 billion selling its vision to the future workplace. But WeWork's spectacular collapse revealed something interesting about workspace trends. The company succeeded when it provided what traditional offices couldn't: flexibility, variety, and escape from corporate control. It failed when it tried to become a tech company rather than a real estate service. The co-working experiment showed us that people crave workspace choice and autonomy. But it also revealed that shared spaces without assigned territory can't fully replace the psychological comfort of having your own space. You still couldn't have truly private conversations or leave personal items out. Then 2020 happened and everything changed overnight. Suddenly, millions of knowledge workers discovered they could be productive, often more productive, working from spaces they control completely. The great remote work experiment wasn't planned, it was forced. But the results spoke for themselves. The numbers tell the story. Productivity held steady or improved for most remote workers. But more importantly, people experienced something they'd lost in decades of office evolution: privacy, autonomy, and control over their environment. This shift is reshaping commercial real estate demand, with office space needs dropping 20 to 40% in major markets. But the real story isn't about square footage. It's about what workers discovered when they finally had privacy again. So I asked AI systems to analyze workspace trends and predict what's actually sustainable long term. Is remote work here to stay, or will we see a return to traditional offices? The responses were fascinating and honestly more nuanced than most of the corporate proclamations we're hearing. AI analyzed productivity data, real estate trends, demographic patterns to conclude that we're not going back to 2019. The genie is out of the bottle. Workers have experienced autonomy and flexibility, and they're not willing to give that up for ping pong tables and free coffee. But AI also identified something interesting. The companies that are thriving in this transition aren't the ones forcing people back into offices or going fully remote. They're the ones that have figured out how to match workspace to work type. AI suggested that the future isn't about choosing between remote and office work. It's about matching environment to task. Deep focus work benefits from private, controlled spaces. Complex collaboration sometimes needs physical presence. But the key insight? People need choice and control over the environment. Based on current trends, hybrid arrangements will likely stabilize around 60 to 7% of knowledge workers. Co-working spaces will probably find their niche, serving specific needs. Occasional collaboration spaces for remote teams, professional environments for home-based workers who need variety, and networking hubs for freelancers and small businesses. The surviving co-working companies are those that learned from WeWork's mistakes, focusing on real estate services rather than inflated tech valuations, and recognizing that they're solving for workplace flexibility, not replacing the need for privacy and territorial control entirely. So there you have it. We've gone from Propst's vision of personalized, flexible workspaces to cubicle farms, to open office chaos, to the current hybrid environment, and the commercial real estate implications are reshaping entire markets. But I want to hear about your reality. Are you working remotely, in a hybrid environment, or back in a traditional office? How has the change affected your productivity and well-being? If you're in a hybrid situation, what brings you into the office versus what you prefer to do remotely? And have you found that certain types of work genuinely benefit from physical presence? Or does it feel like you're commuting for commuting's sake? And if you're involved in workplace planning or real estate decisions, how are you balancing employee preferences with business needs? Are you designing spaces that people actually want to use? Or are you hoping policies can force utilization? Here's what I'm really curious about. How important is workplace privacy to your productivity and well-being? Have you experienced the difference between working in environments where you feel observed versus spaces where you have autonomy and control? If you're enjoying these deep dives into workplace assumptions that deserve questioning, hit subscribe. I'll see you soon. I get it. Taking that first step can feel daunting. I've been there too. But here's the thing. You've got strengths you might not even realize yet. I've put together a free career mapping framework to help you uncover those hidden talents and chart your own path forward. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about starting to see your potential clearly. Ready to explore? The framework's waiting for you. Just click the link in the description. Your future self will thank you for taking this small but powerful step today.